Every Thursday night, you ask the questions, DT gives you his answers. No holds barred.
It's Q&A with Don Tony. This is your chance to speak your mind and be heard about anything.
Q&A with Don Tony. And now, your host, Don Tony. Don Tony. Don Tony.
What's up, everybody? Thursday night, March 4th, my freedom day. I am back. Welcome to this edition of SDT, AMA, whatever you feel like talking about. Yeah. Today is officially my freedom day. For those that don't know what that is, when you get vaccinated after the second shot, if you had 2 shots, 2 weeks after the second shot, you are considered fully immune. Today is exactly 2 weeks, which comes out to 6 weeks total, which is pretty much the same thing as the Johnson & Johnson first vaccine. We talked about it last night a little bit. All these vaccines, from day one, when you get the shot, whether it's 2 shots or 1, from day 1 to day 42, that's pretty much the window that you have to be really, really careful. Of course, you're going to be careful after you're fully immune. I'm going to keep careful. I don't want to take the chance that we find out a variant doesn't work all that well, and then I get sick again, and no. We came so far, everyone. We're almost at the finish line. A couple of months to go. Couple of months. It'll fly by. WrestleMania will keep our minds off it a little bit. But how's everybody doing tonight? You know what? I just realized it. There's a couple of things wrong with the setup right now. Let's do this. And let's do this. There we go. Shout out to everybody. By the way, shout out to everybody who is now green. I guess when you hit month 2 as far as a membership, you go from blue to green. So we're green now, everybody. Even yours truly is green. So did you hear about the match that was announced tonight that's going to be added to WWE Fastlane? If any of you already know, don't type it. Because I know almost everybody out there tuning in right now has no idea. I'm going to post the picture, and I want your honest reaction to this. Honest reaction. Because if you follow my shows last week and the week before, we had 2 rants about it. We had a rant. Don't type what it is. 2 weeks ago, we had a rant that we thought a match idea was stupid, not needed for various reasons. WWE didn't do it. So we were like, kudos. Unbelievable. Ready, everybody? Here you go. Check it out. Yeah, it's been added to Fastlane. Why? Seriously, come on, man. Do we really need that? Let me fix that. I like things perfected. Come on, man. The EST versus the best, the boss. You don't need this dumb idea that they win the titles. And even if they don't win it, Fastlane again. Still, why? I mean, why even tease Naomi and Lana? Of course, should they be getting title shots? Probably not. But still, why even tease that? Why even try to push Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, the Riot Squad, and it goes on and on and on and on and on when this happens? Because you see what you realize what's happening now. When the road to Wrestle, actually it's the Royal Rumble. once the Royal Rumble comes, that's it. If you are not on any momentum whatsoever, even if you don't have a planned match for WrestleMania other than maybe a Battle Royal, you get to the Royal Rumble and you have no traction, that's it. For the next 3, 4, 5 months, the chances of you getting squat is slim to none. Because the road to WrestleMania, they focus only at the big names at hand. And that's what we're seeing right now. I don't know why it's not something else. I don't know. And you know what? Remember my idea last night about the NXT announcement next week? Still, today now some people are saying, hey, it could be this. I think that announcement is even more of a reason why I believe the announcement next week on NXT is we're going to have women's tag team titles. I don't know. I personally think there is absolutely no reason to put that match. Is the match going to be bad? Absolutely not. It is not going to be bad at all. But still, the boss versus the EST doesn't need a hybrid storyline. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, try to push some other people. If you even want to give Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez a rematch at Fastlane, I actually would like to see that. But you know what? This goes to show you that they're not going to waste their time putting Sasha Banks in any singles matches for the most part that of any meaning between now and WrestleMania. We're still 38 days away, 37 days away. So, I don't know. Your thoughts on it. But SoFly, shout out to you, my friend. As you see, I fixed from last night's faux pas. In the light of Lashley saying he would like a woman in the Hurt Business, who would we choose? He would personally like Mia Yim or Raquel Gonzalez. Ooh. I don't know. See, this is look, you know me. I'm straight up with all my opinions. Even if they kind of ruffle feathers in the year 2021. Now, is it coincidence that every member of the Hurt Business is black? Yeah, I'm going to go there. They've teased some members in the past, but never went forward with it. The reason why I say that is, look, as far as aspiring black wrestlers, Bobby Lashley is an inspiration. Kofi Kingston is an inspiration. A lot of wrestlers are inspiration, and that's a good thing. And they've all earned their spot. They've earned it. They didn't get where they are because of their skin color. They got it because of talent. In fact, they probably had to work a little bit extra hard to get where they are. But do you want to change that identity of the Hurt Business? That's what I ask you. For me, obviously, I'm fine with anybody who would fit like a glove in the Hurt Business. But the question is, seriously, does WWE want to change that? I don't know. I'll give you a great example. When the Nation of Domination first started up, early on, they had PG-13 that was actually doing the rap intro for a little bit of this stuff. But that was before they really started pushing the racial component of the Nation of Domination. Then they were gone. And then it pretty much felt like everybody in the group was black. And that was a lot of the storyline. Farouk, that infamous promo he cut that time with Vince McMahon on Monday Night Raw, legendary. But then they added Owen Hart. And, then it's like, But the racial component of it had really subsided when they added Owen Hart in the Nation. So WWE, and let me make this clear, WWE does not push a racial component in the Hurt Business. They don't. I'm not trying to say that they do. The question is, do they want to change that formula. I don't know. Mia Yim, I think, would fit great. I don't know who else. I don't know. You said Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel Gonzalez, I think she is destined to be a star on her own. I could see her almost like a China. I brought that up a year ago. I could see her being in that, but I don't know if she would be a perfect fit. Mercedes Martinez, I thought about that. PW in Spider. In Spider, I like that. Mercedes Martinez is another good one. Let me see some of your other choices out there, everybody. Any choices? I would not put Naomi. I wouldn't put Eva Marie. I wouldn't put Ruby Riott. Wouldn't put Taya Valkyrie. I tell you, when you really think, Asuka, now you're just putting names just to put names. But Asuka, you know what? I understand why you say that, noob. I understand that. I actually think that would have a lot of comedy, a father to it. Tamina. No, I don't think Tamina. I tell you the truth. Now, Shayna Baszler, man, I'm telling you, I love how Shayna Baszler has adapted to the WWE main roster. I brought that up yesterday. I have been singing the praise of Shayna Baszler for a long, long time. Yeah, I tell you the truth, when you actually think about it, there's nobody. Nia Jax I thought of, but Nia Jax, whoever the female component would be on the same level. I don't think it would overtake. I think Nia Jax would overtake. Her presence is very dominating, whether you like her or not. I know why you're saying Tasha Steelz, Darren Gordon Hill. Even some people said Big Swole, because Big Swole's name has been mentioned, but obviously she's not in WWE. I tell you, the more I think about it, I don't think any female right now would fit perfectly in her business. I guess we would have to have somebody really tweak their character. Rhea Ripley, no. Rhea Ripley is destined to be a solo star on her own. This would have to be someone that could benefit from being around a group. Mia Yim, in Retribution has done next to nothing, let's be honest. And a lot of us here are big Mia Yim fans. Mish and I all the time praise Mia Yim. But Mia Yim doesn't feel like it fits with Retribution, because you don't see Retribution going after any women. Obviously, Mia Yim would be the only one assaulting women. We thought we were getting that for a little while with Asuka. Maybe Mia Yim challenging Asuka never happened. And I'm sure getting COVID didn't help at all. It didn't help with the momentum. That's probably the better way to put it. So. But, I tell you, that's a nice thing. You're going, hey, anybody watching this later on the archive, if you have any names that you suggest, I tell you the truth. Before I go to the next question, I know who to fit. I know, and yes, we would not have thought that she would have come this far in her beginning of her wrestling career. But I think Jade Cargill would have fit almost perfectly. Just think about that presence with them. I think Jade Cargill probably would have fit the best out of all of them. You see Lashley with his physique and that dominance. I could see Jade Cargill out there as well. I honestly think that would have fit. But again, to be fair to WWE, and I brought this up yesterday, when WWE did not express interest in Jade Cargill, this was way before a lot of her training. This is way before she really went, full-blown dedication to her physique. So, you can't compare Jade Cargill from last night and say, oh, WWE, you really missed one. At that time, nobody thought that we would have got what we got last night. So, yeah, I honestly think Jade Cargill probably would have fit the best. But if anybody has any better choices, please post them. Definitely love to hear from you. crazy cruiserweight? What if the new AEW signee is Tito Ortiz? That's how Don-O-Mite. Tito Ortiz. Oh man, that why that's always extra special for me, because when I had that little skirmish with Bully Ray online, where he actually invited me to Impact Wrestling and confront him in the ring, which obviously I know was never going to happen. But right smack in the middle of it was the surprise. The warning. Warning. I'm not Batista. Warning. What? Remember that warning? What was it? August? Was it August 1st warning? I got to take that down for a minute. Was it August 1st warning? I think it was August 1st warning. And right smack in the middle of it, he came out to crickets. And I wrote to him, I said, This is acceptable? Oh, yeah, August 1st warning. Oh, man, that was funny. Now, look, for newer viewers out there, everything's been squashed with Bully Ray. I have sung the praise for Bully Ray for years since then. Guy, I like his attitude. Yes, he could be a prick on the outside, in the outside world, but I am a fan of Bully Ray. It's just he was, and you got to give him credit, he was backing his employer full blown. So I don't blame him for, how he, verbally abused yours truly. I didn't enjoy it. Let's see. All right. We got to ban somebody. All right. We got to ban somebody. My apologies, everyone. Just bear with me for 1 second. You know what I need you all to do? I need you all, when I say we got to ban someone, you got to stop typing, because there we go. All right. Let's see. We got to just one more. Hide user. Okay. He's gone. You get a jerk off once in a while. I actually had the shadow ban a jerk off earlier today. Just think about this, everybody. Just think about this. I have a Twitter account, and for a year and a half, I have muted and ended up deleting, unfollowing a lot of people. Nothing personal. It's not that I don't like some of them, but their walls are loaded with negativity. Complain. And it's like, you know what? I just don't want to be around that. I had a cancer scare 2.5 years ago. I just want to enjoy things as much as possible. I don't want to be dragged down by all negative shit. And there's one guy, I don't want to mention his name, but he still followed me on Twitter, and he doesn't really comment much, but sometimes when I put up nice announcements, like, sometimes if you're not interested in something, sometimes the best thing to do is just ignore it. Don't respond. But I'll put up a really big announcement. No, I'm not interested. I think I'll pass. No, thank you. And I'm like, all right, fine. But he's got to let me know that he feels that way. So I let it go. And tonight, with the horrible wrestling segment with yours truly that I'm going to show you in a little while, some retro Don Tony indie wrestling. I said that, I'm going to post this for our YouTube members. They get a sneak peek. They get the early release and this and that. And he writes again. He's like, no, I think I'll pass. No, thank you. So I was like, you know what? That's it. I removed him from my Twitter. So what does he do? He goes on the YouTube pages, calling me salty, calling me racist, calling me this, calling me an asshole, this. And that's how sometimes when you got dirtbags following you, because they call me salty for banning him on Twitter. But then when they go on the YouTube, they start flooding it with all this negative stuff. Who's the salty person? Don Tony at DonTony.com. You email me. That goes for anybody out there who's ever been shadow banned. You email me and be straight up and say, look, I was just fucking around, or, I didn't mean it like that. I'm cool. I'm not going to screenshot your email and show everybody and laugh at it. But, you're going to be negative about my stuff. I am going to remove you. Plain and simple. Okay. All right, everybody, we got to stop again. So we got to... Let's see. That's it. The funny thing is all you got to do is click one button and they're gone. So that's what they want to do. It's not a problem. By the way, I'll start adding some moderators here so you could just like remove the people. In fact, what I'll even do, I'll do this. There we go. There's like a 3 or a 4 second, they can't, like flood the page. So it's all good. Look, we're doing a show. If we have to stop for 3 seconds to remove someone, it's only 3 seconds of the show. It's not like we're going to have to shut the show down or anything like that. But like I said, you have a problem, make you a mod. No problem, RC. I trust Lee. Yeah, there you go. Lee's got the helm. Lee's good people. I do business with Lee under certain circumstances. So now if I don't catch it, Lee will. And then that means, Lee, that you'll get flooded with negative shit on your YouTube channel. By the way, tonight's Who Am I contest. For those that didn't tune in Monday or Wednesday, let me just spend 30 seconds to let you know what the prize is tonight. Everybody who is live, that is chatting, that you could see on the screen right now, they are eligible. We got 2 choices of winning money tonight. You got the wheel, and those are dollars. Those are not pennies or quarters. That's the wheel. We spin the wheel. Whatever it lands on, you win. You could choose this. Now, let's say you don't want the wheel. We got this, like bingo. We got this. To spin it. There you go. We got this. And just to be transparent, ooh, one of the balls fell out. My balls fell out. These are the balls. Oh, Jesus. Okay, you see this ball right here? What does it say, 40? 40? These balls are labeled 1 to 100. You know what? Let me put them in this thing before they start falling all over the place. Let me flood them in here. Hang on. We're going to be transparent about this. Let's rip this open. Oh, that's okay. I got it right here. Hold on. All right. Where did my ball go? Oh, here it is. 20. That's it. The balls are in here. Let's close this. All right. So now, hang on. I won't have to open this again. There we go. I won't have to open this again. I wanted to put the balls in here so you could see it live. So in here right now, there's 100 balls. They're labeled 1 to 100. So if you don't want the wheel and you want this instead, we'll spin it around and I will pull a ball out of here at random. Whatever that ball is, you win. So if you pull 88, you win $88. You pull 3, you win $3. The one thing about this is you're guaranteed to win $1. On the wheel, though, the purples are goose eggs. So if you land on a goose egg, you get nothing. So somebody later is going to win. In fact, if I'm in a good mood and the prize comes back a little low, I may choose a second winner. Or I may give them one of each. We'll see what mood I'm in later. Yeah, Guardian of Chaos. Always wanted to be a juggler, but didn't have the balls for it. Oh, my God. I have a soundboard coming. It's going to take about 2 weeks because I have the company making it. Little soundboard like this big. It's got like 50 little buttons on there, and inside the buttons, it has like names, and it's going to be all special effects. And then we're going to start making it on the screen also. Oh, no, you don't have to pay. Nikko, you don't have to pay. That is the appreciation of tuning in to the shows, especially live. I feel bad for those that are unable to tune in live, but I promise you, especially for my friends overseas, we are going to start doing at least one episode a month that is going to be airing during the afternoon hours. This way, the time zone where you're at, maybe only be 7 or 8 o'clock at night to give our international friends a chance. I know some of you tuning in right now are overseas. And much love, because I know some of those time zones are insane. Some of you, it's like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. Some of you, like, ideally, it's 2 p.m. in Australia. That's not too bad. But, yeah, so anybody tuning in live later, and it's a Who Am I contest. I'm going to read hints very slowly, and the first person who comes up with the name wins the prize. Easy. So, we talked about Fastlane. The ratings. The ratings came in from AEW and NXT. For 2 weeks in a row, I'm within 4,000 votes of NXT, 4,000 viewers of NXT in the predictions, 2 weeks in a row. On the AEW side, I was a little low. I should have went 921 like I wanted to, but I went with 891 instead. So yesterday I predicted AEW would do 891 and NXT would do 688. Well, I predicted 688 for NXT. NXT scored 692. On the AEW side, I predicted 891. I know I said Lee said 904. Yeah, you were closer because AEW actually scored 934. So I'm telling you, Shaq, that quarter hour, which bled into the second quarter hour, there's easily going to be over 1 million views. In fact, I won't be surprised if it's 1,100,000 for that opening quarter. One of those 2 quarters is going to be very close to 1,000,001. And look, if NXT does move to Tuesdays, you're going to see better ratings for both products. Plain and simple. Better ratings for both products. The big question is, how much better of a rating? Not everybody channel surfs. Not everybody does that. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, if that happens, it's not going to take place until after WrestleMania. But, yeah, no, I'm telling you, Darren, one of my predictions in 2021, one of the predictions was that NXT was going to move to Tuesdays or Thursdays by June. That was one of my predictions. Another one of my predictions is that AEW will score 1 million viewers average this year on Dynamite. And I made another one that AEW and NXT combined would break 2 million. But I will be honest on that one. I didn't specify different nights, so it's easier for them to get close to 2 million if they're on separate nights. So I probably can't take credit for that one. So, I posted this on Twitter today. I can't thank you enough. Can't thank you enough for all of your well wishes about my dad. Makes me feel, the feeling inside, I can't even explain it. Because I know a lot of you out there don't even chat or just anonymous and quiet. And I've had crazy numbers of people that never ever made a comment before send me an email, a post, and a chat asking about my dad. And I said I was going to start posting some of those photos that I've talked about it over in the past. So I did it today. And for those that were curious, that wanted to see it, here you go. This is my dad with Hillary Clinton on the left. And there is my dad with Mike Bloomberg, who visited my dad's store. That is my dad's deli. And Mike Bloomberg does not like anybody putting their hands on him, and the picture with De Niro is priceless. But I figured you'd want to see that. So some of you asked. So, yeah, the one on the left with Hillary was, I'd say, about 20 years ago. This was shortly after 9/11. For those that don't remember this, shortly after 9/11, another plane crashed. A couple of weeks later, it crashed in Far Rockaway, Queens, a plane en route to, I don't know if it was Dominican Republic or somewhere, or maybe coming back from it. Everybody died, crashed into a house. That plane went down 3 blocks from where my parents live. In fact, the day of the vaccine, when I went to the vaccine, the second shot, I recorded on the phone. A lot of you always wanted to see the area where the plane went down. I actually recorded. I haven't put it online yet. But my father sent water and food for all the first responders, and my father was there, and Hillary showed up, and somebody introduced my father to Hillary. They actually talked for a few minutes, and my father said, do you mind taking a photo? And she's like, sure. Yeah, so that's what I said all these years when I said that she was wearing the shades, looking all hip and everything. Unfortunately, that was, because of a plane crash. And my father Mike Bloomberg, I don't remember what year this picture was. I don't know if I think Mike Bloomberg was already mayor. I think he was already mayor, and he went to my neighborhood. He knows people in my neighborhood, and my father had met him a couple of times before. I should post this. My father, when Superstorm Sandy hit, and they were talking about all these changes to like flood zones and insurance and this and that, they had people speak in front of these big committees in New York State. You know what? If you're watching right now the politics and you hear people like talking about why not to defund the police, and some woman who's the wife of a cop or a firefighter just spoke, they invited my father to speak on behalf of the town, and he spoke for about 2 hours, and I have it. And he met with Bloomberg and everything else. So, the only thing is, I don't know if I'm going to put online the pictures of him dining with Donald Trump, because right now I think that might be a little bit too soon. But there's other pictures. I posted some of the De Niro already. You got more. But for everyone out there that always wants to see it, look, I have always said, I tell you stories over the years. Yeah, there's a little bit better. I tell stories over the years. I always try to back up what I say. Because unfortunately, there's way too many people on social media that will just tweet bullshit, and you tweet it long enough, and not only do you start believing your own shit, but you start building a persona about yourself that, everybody thinks that you are. And it's catfish. It's catfish. Catfish is not just in forms of people, posting pictures of them when they were 100 pounds lighter on a dating site, or posting pictures of someone else claiming to be them, to get like phone sex or something, or sexting. Catfish comes in all walks of life. Trust me, some people we probably mutually know catfish. You have no idea. And the reason why nobody calls them out on it is because a lot of other people catfish too. So, Twix, when could you call in? Probably next week. I have it set up. I have someone who's working on doing a screening of the calls. I definitely need a screener. I don't want to sit here and start, handling the helm. And I can't I know what you're going to say. Oh, ask Mish. Everybody runs to Mish to do all this stuff. I told Mish, I said, Mish, you're too nice. You got to stop helping every Tom, Dick, and Jane out there. People got to do their own stuff. He's got his own show on Thursday nights, Wrestling Soup. He likes to edit, upload, run codecs, splice, mix. And I'm going to tell him, hey, screen my calls. So, yeah. What was the question about ECW? Yeah, Andrew Seed. I don't know if Andrew is just legitimately asking a question or if he's just trolling, because he knows, and I say this jokingly, he knows that if I start telling the ECW trademark story, I can't do it in my glasses. But there are people out there tuning in live that be like this. Why did you bring that up? We don't want to hear that fucking story again. So I will keep everybody, I'll keep everybody satisfied tonight. I'll just say, yes, I did own it once. That's it. I won't say nothing else about it. So, big shout out to MadMex89. No message, just showing support to the family. So, thank you, MadMex. Much love. I really appreciate it, more than you know. MadMex also asked, now he's got a question. Which Godfather Trilogy video release is the best? Okay. I've been asked this question in the past many times. And I'll be honest with you. The more people ask me as years go by, the more I love the question. Because The Godfather came out so long ago that it surprises me that some people today still are interested in seeing it. Godfather 1, in my opinion, I think would put a lot of people to sleep today. Maybe they would get a kick out of it because of Robert De Niro and a few other actors, but I think for the most part, a lot of people would go to sleep watching Godfather 1. Godfather 3, I hated it. I hated it. They had some people acting that I wasn't used to seeing them playing the role of Italian mobsters. I didn't like that either. In my opinion, as far as the 3 movies, Godfather 2, 1,000 times over. I have watched Godfather 2 probably 100 times more than I've ever watched Godfather 1. I think I've watched Godfather 3 twice in my life. I've watched Godfather 2 hundreds of times. But I'll say this, and I'll be very quick with this. If anybody out there is seriously interested in watching The Godfather, even if you want to watch the trilogy, and you're curious as far, because there's been so many different versions over the years. I brought this up before. Back about 20 years ago, they came out with a Godfather trilogy right after the 3 was done. And what they did was they put everything in chronological order. See, when you watch Godfather 2, they flash back to years before. And it does get a little confusing if you're not really paying attention. But what someone did, some movie company did, obviously with the permission of Francis Ford Coppola and Paramount, was they put everything in chronological order. It started with the donkey cart, Antonio Andolini, and it ended with Al Pacino, and that shit. If you could get it in chronological order, you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. If you don't want to sit through 9 hours of the 3 combined, then just get Godfather 2. Just get 2. You'll enjoy it. Trust me when I tell you. You'll enjoy it enough. I hated Godfather 3. Oh my God. I mean, when they killed his daughter and the there's no sound and all, he's on the steps going. I'm like, good. I'm glad your fucking daughter died. I hate this movie. Thank God I didn't go to the movies to see it. Never liked it. Never liked Godfather 3. Look, the Irishman. When the Irishman came out, everybody out there, I got to say something about Coming to America 2 in a second. When the Irishman came out, right when it came, I had probably more people ever than any other time of me doing shows coming to me and saying, dude, you got to see The Irishman because I know how much you love Goodfellas. You got to see The Irishman. You got to see The Irishman. And I put it off for like a month. And I finally watched The Irishman with my fiance. I got about 40 minutes in and I changed it. And she's like, what are you changing it for? And she went to change it back. I'm like, no, please. This sucks. It felt like a movie that they forced to be made because they wanted another movie like Goodfellas with the same actors in it. And they added, obviously, some other actors, too. I could not stand it. Aladdin, why do you want me to kick you from the stream, man? Seriously. Apparently you're friendly with some people here. Why would you want me to do that? I mean, if you really want to, I will, but why? Just hang out. You might win a prize later. And with the cash, I don't even need your address. I could just Amazon e-gift you or PayPal. So I don't even need your mailing address. So you don't have to worry about me knocking on your door. Aladdin's all right. I know he's okay. So Godfather 2, definitely. Irishman, I hated it. And I know there's a lot of you out there. I have not seen the movie Cruising. Wait a minute. The Al Pacino, is that movie Cruising from like the 70s or the 80s? I think I might have seen it. I've watched a lot of movies from back in the day and just, never really resonated with me. So, shout out to LJ. LJ, just wanted to show some love. No question, but just wanted to show some love. So much love, LJ. Thank you very much. But, Yeah, Godfather 2 is awesome. Now, I'm not going to give you spoilers. Coming to America 2, obviously straight to streaming video release because of COVID. A lot of you may not be aware of this. Coming to America 2, I got to watch the numbers on the stream go down now. Coming to America 2 is streaming right now on Amazon Prime. You could watch Coming to America 2, I believe, tonight. Now, I have not seen it yet. I talked to a friend of mine that did. Nikko says it's trash. Sam thinks The Irishman was brilliant. Sam, look, I'm going to say it straight up. I totally understand why many people out there loved The Irishman. Loved it. I have no problem with you saying that. The reason why I didn't like it is because it felt like, when you're a huge Goodfellas fan, I mean huge. I don't know if you all saw that intro that I did. I don't want to play it on YouTube yet because somebody is making some computer graphics of yours truly. And they're recreating a scene from The Godfather. And it's going to be a combination of The Godfather meets Goodfellas. And once he sends me this video of me in the chair, but instead of petting the cat, he's actually putting my dog in it as a little tribute to my dog who I put down a couple of years ago. I still have freaking nightmares over. But I'm going to put the audio. I know some of you have already heard the audio part of it, but when I put it together, it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. But when you were huge in Goodfellas, you looked at The Irishman one of two ways. Either you just wanted to see something fresh with the same guys and loved it, or you weren't looking for something fresh, but you watch it and it feels like this movie was only made because people wanted some fresh, like new type of Goodfellas. It was just hard to accept or like. And not only that, this is the thing you got to understand too. That's why a lot of people did not like the Gotti movie that John Travolta starred in. And then you have people from my neighborhood that if you mention Travolta and Gotti, and I've talked about this, I know a lot of you are new to me from on YouTube, but a lot of you are aware of this already. John Gotti used to live a couple of blocks from where I live now. Family members of his went to my wedding in 1999. Victoria Gotti went to my wedding. I was friendly with their family. My father did all their catering. I have a picture of me in the Daily News from like 1988 or 89 of me holding a 6-foot hero delivering it to his house, and I will post it online. I got to go get a new subscription on newspapers.com, and I got to go check the Daily News and check every day after he got out and or got acquitted, one of those cases, and then I'll find it and I'll post it. But the thing is this, when you come from this area and then you see Travolta trying to play Gotti and you hear the rumors of what's going on. When he showed up in this neighborhood a couple of years ago to film or to see some of the areas, I will never forget it. I was in front of my office, and my place is inside a shopping center. And there's a bunch of guys from the neighborhood, few had insurance with me, and they're just talking. And one of them's like, did you hear that? I'm not going to say the word, but did you hear that jerk off? Travolta's coming here. They spit on the floor. That's what I never like to do that. But like old Italian guineas, for some reason, when they get mad at something, they could be in their house and they'll just spit on the floor. They hated Travolta playing this role. And when the movie came out, yep, just what I thought, fucking jerk off. That's how people acted. So, oh yeah, Edwin G. freaking loved Saturday Night Fever. Here's a little tidbit. My father used to be the supervisor for a supermarket chain called Scotoro. My father, for those that know, when I was a kid, my father worked 3 jobs. to raise me and my brother and have a house and, some food and everything. My father worked 3 jobs at the same time. Father never graduated high school. Up until about 10, 15 years ago, my father still could not really read. He would say to me, what is this word? Now, I'm not going to be dramatic and say cat, but I would be like, precocious. What does that mean? Like, he just, nothing. He started in Scotoro as packing out shelves. He became the supervisor. Saturday Night Fever was filming in 1976 or 77, around there. And there was Scotoro Supermarket. If you think I'm lying, Google that time period and just look up the word Scotoro. And you'll see I'm not making it up. They shot scenes of Saturday Night Fever, and everybody from Scotoro, including my father, went and watched him film scenes of him walking down the street. I think he folded a piece of pizza in half or something like that, and came this close of being extras, just walking or hanging on the sidewalk as he walked by. But it didn't happen. True story. True story. And like I said, you could Google it, it's got out. But I like Saturday Night Fever because I was into disco. I loved disco. I loved R&B. It's interesting when you look back when I was young. I mean, I was into rock as well and a little bit of metal. Love Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Yes, Van Halen, Twisted. Is that a Twisted Sister pin on your uniform? My God, Quiet Riot. The list could go on and on and on. But my true love was R&B and disco. And looking back on it, it's pretty amazing that so many people that I absolutely loved were gay. Didn't know anything about the AIDS or anything like that, but I had the opportunity to go to Studio 54 once. I was 15 years old, had fake ID. In fact, you know what? Here, this is me. I had this queued up only because I did get Darren Gordon Hill said earlier, like growing up, Don Johnson, growing up Johnson, because, of the clip for tonight's show. So I actually did this just for Darren Gordon Hill, who is live right now. This is yours truly at 15 and 16 years old. So I looked older than I was. And yeah, see, that was Miami Vice. That was Miami Vice. That's me on the left. That's my family on the right. And I know some of you have seen this picture too. But this is me and my dad, 16 years old. I was already, I think, 5'11", because my father was 5'10" at that time. That's my brother on the left. That's my mom. My mom used to be skinny. But yeah, so, when you go back to Miami Vice days, yeah, I dressed it. I got the pictures to prove it, obviously. Yeah, that is Miami Vice days. Yep. So that's how it's amazing looking back at how much white I wore at that time. How much white. I looked at high school pictures, white. I look at going and hanging out with my friends, white. And I have a camcorder tape from 1990 to 1995 of me and my friends just hazing each other, going camping, blowing up batteries, blowing up this. My friend got lost in the mountains, showed up, his lips were green and gray because he was dehydrated and everything. And I have the footage. I'm going to play it for all of you. The only reason why I haven't put it online yet is because there's a lot of background music. And I'm very afraid that the background music is going to trigger something unless I just not monetize it. I don't know if I could stream it without monetizing. But my friend disappeared for 2 days while we were hiking, camping out in Bear Mountain. And we were 5 hours into the mountains. And this is 1994. You didn't have cell phones or beepers. You didn't really have GPS much at all. Look at forensic files from that time. Forensic files, this new technology, and there's satellites in the sky, and there were satellites in the sky, but they weren't everywhere. So you were in the mountains, there was no signals at all. There was no phone reception. So for 2 days, we're like, should we go for help? What do we do? And then after 2 days, he shows up. And I got footage of it. And you look at him and his face is pale. He had no water, had nothing to eat for 2 days. He's pale, he's green, his lips are gray. And all he just wanted to do was go to sleep. And He was asleep maybe a half an hour, and we took empty cups of cup of noodles, and we put it over his ears, and we opened the back, and then we blasted the little transistor radios. We were sticking cigarettes up his nose. We hazed him anyway. I have the footage. I will one thing I promise you all, I'll never lie to you. I'm not a good liar. I'm just not a good liar. You'll see it in my face if I'm lying. You'll know. I'm just not a good liar. So, yeah, Nikko, I will be putting the footage. What I have to do is I got to do a test run. See, this is one of the reasons why I bought this. See this? There's a guy on YouTube right now. Ben Salmon. I got to give him the credit for it because he gave me the idea. There's a guy on YouTube. Maybe some of you know who he is. Oh, I keep looking to the left. That's better. That's better. What's up, Papo Jr.? What's up, Papo Jr.? Papo and Tyree, I'll get into your chats in a second. Maybe someone out there knows the name. But there's a guy on YouTube that he buys VHS tapes, videotapes from eBay with no labels on them. He obviously watches them before he records. But all he does is puts the tape in the video, and he's showing like commercials and stuff from the 80s and the 90s. And he just reacts at it. And the guy's got hundreds of thousands of, is that him? Brutal Moose? Yeah, I think you're right. Brutal Moose. I looked at that and I'm like, I got like 700 VHS tapes in my other room of stuff that I recorded. Wrestling from the 80s, random stuff from the 90s. I would have to definitely look through it because I definitely recorded a couple little porn clips and then erased over them. So, but I have so much stuff inside, and the only reason why I still have them is because none of them have labels on it. And I just haven't had the time to go through them and put it onto DVD. So my idea is this, I'm going to connect a VCR, and what this does, for anybody that might be interested, what this does is you connect it to your VCR, and that connects to the computer. And then I just put the tape in, press play, and you could all watch it. So I'm going to work on this year. Definitely going to work on it this year. Darren's having some... Darren can't read the text. Let me see something. Hold on. I tried to... No, you don't... Well, color adjust. Tell me if this helps. Tell me if this helps. I don't know if that helps. Aladdin's like, block me, damn it. Now we're not blocking you. I don't know if that helped at all. But, no, the screen's fine. Yeah, it's randomly. I don't know. Darren, I don't know what. Oh, by the way, last night we had a little buffering. And some of you were right. The wire I had, some of you know, I got Verizon Fios yesterday. After 20 years of waiting, they finally put the wiring in my complex. I got Fios yesterday. I wanted to cry. I called Spectrum up. I was waiting for this call for 20 years. Yeah, I want to disconnect my internet service with you and my digital phone. What's the reason why? I got Fios. Well, we can offer you better. I'm like, look, your freaking upload speed is 20 megabytes a second. Fios is giving me 900. Can you beat that or match it? You could drop off the equipment. But what happened was I didn't run the wires. They had to, think about this. They had to install, if any of you have Verizon Fios, you know that black box with the green lights that, that has the internet and the TV in there. They had to install it behind my couch because the geniuses that after 20 years that finally put the wiring in my complex so I could have Fios and everybody else, they put it in the door frames outside in your hallway. So if anybody lives in like an apartment building or a condo or a co-op and you walk in the hallway before you walk through your door, the frame around the door, the wires are inside there. So they hooked up Fios and put it behind my couch. And I'm like, I don't want to do Wi-Fi. So I had to run a wire from my couch to my bedroom, and my bedroom has a router. And then the bedroom, I run it through a wall, and it's here. So yesterday, because I didn't have the right length of cable, I took the wire, I connected it to Fios in my living room, and all I did was drag the wire into my bedroom. So from the living room to my bedroom, there was wire on the floor. Well, whenever I do these shows live, I always close my bedroom door because my neighbor upstairs can hear if the doors are open. So when I closed the door, it apparently tinked the wire. It was caught in the door. So I think that might have caused a little buffering yesterday. So, but anyway, yeah, so soon I'm going to put some of those videos up, and I am going to throw one or two, and I'll do it as special episodes. This way, if you have no interest in seeing it, you don't have to, you could just ignore the episode. But I'm going to take a VCR tape, throw it in the thing, and we'll just watch it and see what's on there. You could see Don Tony's viewing habits as a horny, lonely teenager and 20-something. Because unfortunately, you know, my visits to the meat market used to come back meatless. It would come back with vegetables in my hand, if you know what I mean. A turnip. Tyree Jones, he's a fan of Gangrel. Was I a fan of Gangrel back in the day? And do I believe Aleister Black will undergo a character change? Number one, I always believe the saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. There was nothing wrong with Aleister Black. Zero. His entrance was actually one of the coolest things about his character. They tweaked the fucking music, obviously, I think because they're falling out with CFO. Then they had to tweak him coming up from, you know, the floor or whatever it was. There was nothing that needed to be changed about Aleister Black. So if they tweak his character again, I don't understand why they would do that. Look, anything is possible. You look at Bray Wyatt. Did Bray Wyatt really need to become the Fiend? You think about that character. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. It was only a couple of weeks ago. It was the 7-year anniversary of the Wyatts and the Shield having that confrontation in the ring on Raw. And all they were doing was staring at each other, and the crowd was chanting, "Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit." It was so cool. The feuds with Cena were before that, and it was awesome. Well, I think it was before that. My point is, Bray Wyatt didn't need a dramatic character change. And out of nowhere, they come up with The Fiend. Say what you want about the use of The Fiend the last 2 years. That motherfucker has sold more merchandise than a lot of top stars on that roster combined. I have in my office boxes and boxes of those holiday sets that they were doing. Remember the Christmas one, and it had like the jar of the Rambling Rabbit jelly and a t-shirt and stickers and magnets? I was going to give them away here. I have about 10 of them in my office. I just bought. I had all those puppets behind me. And look, I even got the statues still. They're there. My fat ass is blocking them during the shows. My point is, they could transform Aleister Black into a different character, and it might be freaking awesome. Or they could transform him into some dramatic change, and it could be horrible. We'll have to wait and see. I personally don't think he needs to undergo a change. Now, was I a fan of Gangrel? Absolutely. Absolutely. I was a fan of the Vampire Warrior before he became Gangrel in WWF. Vampire Warrior worked a lot of the indie circuit on the East Coast. I've actually worked 3 or 4 shows with Gangrel. I always liked it. Loved how he, ground his teeth to turn it into fangs. He had a very quick stint in ECW, the original ECW. In fact, I remember me and my friends were going to go to Florida. ECW was coming to Florida. Now, I've been to countless ECW shows. Philly, New York, upstate. Didn't matter. Allentown. But they were going to Florida. my friend John, moved to Florida. I've told this story before. My friend John moved to Florida in 1990, and he moved to Naples, and he opened up a pizza restaurant called Thick and Thin. Now, it's closed down since, but he was still in Florida, and we always wanted to make a return trip to Florida. We went to Florida in 90. So in 1995, we were going to make the trip to Florida, and we were also going to go to the ECW shows, and we didn't. Something happened, and we just didn't. It never got pulled together. But a friend of mine who lived in Florida at the time did go, and Gangrel was on some of those shows. Can we bring back Funker? Nikko, you could tell me, you could call me whatever you want. In fact, if you want, on next week's show, I will show everybody what I've said for 20 years. And this is why I like doing video too. I actually get to show you things now that you can't do on audio. When I got engaged, and, when Terry Funk did the shoot interview with our video in 1999, I actually went to Pennsylvania, had lunch with them, took pictures with them, and then on the way home, I got into a road rage incident and almost got thrown in jail. And I was like, I got to call Terry Funk in our video. And I actually was able to call in, and I actually asked him a question on our video interview. But when I got engaged, he sent me a two-page letter, handwritten letter, telling me how marriage is sacred and he loves his wife and wished me well, and I always kept it. And he sent me a shirt, which I know I showed you, I think, earlier last year, and a few other things, a branding iron, all these things. So I kept most of them. So maybe I'll show you next week. So Nikko says I was always Funker. I'm always Funker to Nikko. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, now for those out there that don't know what that means as far as calling me Funker, when I started my wrestling hotline in 1997, I had no nickname. I had no radio name, no hotline name. So people just called me Anthony the Funker, because Terry Funk, when he was selling shirts in the mid-90s, it was, are you a Funker? I'm a Funker. You're a Funker. He's a Funker. Anthony, because Terry Funk is my favorite wrestler of all time. So people would say Anthony the Funker. Like, the was my middle name. And I had that for a long time. The recent video of him with the autograph, not wanting to sign, at home, it's sad. But a lot of people will remember this when I bring it up. In 2006, I think it was, there was a big wrestling convention in Long Island, New York. And Daphne was there and a few others were there. And I was supposed to go also. And I had already started doing indie wrestling work. And I was going to go to Long Island and hang out with Daphne, a few other people. We were all going to hang out after. And I got there late. And I showed up, went inside a little bit, and Terry Funk was there also. So I went right to Terry Funk and said hello. And he remembered me because I had gone to Connecticut around that time also, Low Life Louis Ramos, and you'll get a little treat in a few minutes, little video treat. Low Life Louis Ramos wrestled Terry Funk in Connecticut. In fact, any of you out there that knows Louis, if you've ever seen his tooth that's chipped in half on his front tooth, that was from the match he had with Terry Funk. He said, I'm never going to fix that tooth because every time I look at it, I'll remember that match with Terry Funk. I drove Louis to Connecticut so he could have that match. So when I saw Terry Funk at the convention, I went right up to him, and when I shook his hand, like I felt like bulge, like swollen. I felt swollen hands, and I looked down, and his knuckles were like all puffy. One finger is like this one is like this, and I didn't say anything. But I was like, my God, what happened to his hands? Because I don't recall it ever being like that. ECW Zombie, what's his name? I'm just looking at the comments in the chat. But yeah, ECW Zombie too. Timmy Austin, very close friend of mine. Did a wrestling hotline with me for a couple of years. You know, if you ever see that infamous photo that I put online once in a while of me squeezing his nipples as the zombie, you know, I know this may sound far-fetched to a lot of you out there, but it's true. There's an interview transcript still floating around. But Timmy Austin, who you mostly know, everyone, as the ECW Zombie. When WWE had their ECW, their version of ECW, it's like a Trivial Pursuit question. Who's the first person to debut on the WWE version of ECW? It was the Zombie. The Zombie was Timmy Austin. Now, let's put this in perspective. Karrion Kross, no secret, big supporter of him. He's always been a big supporter of my work when I used to do DTKC. He grew up listening to our shows, and he still shows love to us wherever he can. So to see him get where he's at right now, it's awesome. It truly hits here. You know, I will still criticize or make comments here and there because that's what I've always done. I tell you like it is, not to be a dick and not to rip on everything, but in my opinion, never be satisfied with status quo. I've been doing this since 97, and I could honestly tell you maybe once or twice since 1997, when I'm done, first thing I think of is, you know, I think I rubbed my nose a little too much. Back in the day, I used to say, I'd say it 1,000 times. I'm never satisfied. So with that said, imagine I'm doing a wrestling hotline with Matt Zombie, Brian Damage, and Timmy Austin. And we're doing a hotline. And Timmy says, Ant, make sure you watch ECW tonight. We have no idea why. First person to ever come out on ECW, my fucking hotline host, co-host, my friend, Timmy Culkins, Timmy Austin. Whoa! What? I cried. I legitimately cried. It's not like Goodfellas, like when Joe Pesci's being made. I didn't feel like we were all there, but I was so fucking happy for him. Problem is, he didn't want to be the ECW Zombie, always known as that. And I did a Long Island show with him, and I said to him one time, we had a very serious conversation. He would take the train from Staten Island or wherever he was at the time. He would take the train to Cross Bay Boulevard, Ozone Park. I'd meet him at the train station, and we would drive together to Long Island. And we had a drive once, and he was saying to me, he's like, everybody wants to hire me as the Zombie. I don't want to be the Zombie. If you've ever seen Timmy Austin wrestle as Timmy Austin, the guy had an unbelievable physique, like Incredible Hulk physique. Guy was huge, great look about him, always was able to get women when he wasn't dating someone. He didn't want to be just labeled as the Zombie. And, you know, I had a long conversation with him, and I said to him, like, Timmy, you know, no reason why you can't do what you do, but, you know, look at all these kids that come up to you. You know, they want autographs, they want to take pictures, they want to mess with your hair, they want to do this, they're in awe. Be the friendly Zombie. Be a nice, good guy, you know, like someone that they're not afraid of. I'm not saying that my conversation changed his mind about it, but I remember him being really frustrated about it. And little by little, he was more of this baby face, friendly monster. And he was having an awesome time with it. And then to hear that he died, man, that was rough. We sent a beautiful floral arrangement. I know some of you out there still check out Brian Damage. He writes blogs online. But we sent to his funeral a big floral display of black hearts. It was 4 aces, and each one was a black heart. Ace, black heart. Because our hotline was the Blackhearts. It was the Blackheart Sports Center. Everybody hears Shotzi Blackheart and this Blackheart, and we were the original Blackhearts. I mean, we're not the original Black. I'm sure there was Blackhearts before us, but that's what we were. We were the Blackhearts. So Nico's asking SoFly, what was the lovely lady that was into wrestling that I was great friends with? He believes she passed in 2010. Oh, Georgianne Macropolis. In fact, get a load of this. I'm going to post a link on Twitter Saturday, only because Saturday's the anniversary of it. I got an email yesterday that really got me upset, a little depressed. This Saturday is the anniversary of Hercules Hernandez passing away. And I told this story before. I never bothered to look for proof, but I got this out of nowhere, and I'm like, why did I get this? And then the name hit me, and I'm like, oh, shit. Legacy.com apparently bought like all of these domains and all these funeral sites. And when Hercules Hernandez passed away, nobody was putting tributes online. Nobody. Myself and Georgianne Macropolis went to the funeral home. They had a website, and we paid to have a guest book opened up for Hercules Hernandez. And we paid so they would never shut it down. Never shut it down. Obviously, never say never, because, they shut down. There's nothing you can do about it. So we set up and paid to have a guest book online for Hercules Hernandez. And 2 days ago, I get an email reminding me of a memory of someone from years past that passed. If I want to go check it out, if I want to send a memorial, and I'm like, who is this? Like the name didn't strike me at first. Then I clicked the link, and I'm like, the first thing I see is his wife thanking me and Georgianne Macropolis for setting up this guest book for Hercules Hernandez. And I was like, oh, shit. Sure, Legacy was doing it as a money grab. Do you want to send a memorial? The pay. So it was about money. But when I clicked the link, like, I haven't seen that guest book since he died. And, we did one for the Big Boss Man. We did one, I think, for Road Warrior Hawk, even though Hawk had a lot of tributes already. But Hercules Hernandez, that was sad because nobody was doing anything online to tribute him. It was just the generic, our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friend. And we set it up. We were like, this is wrong. Was I ever a huge fan of Hercules Hernandez? No. But, got to talk to him once in a blue moon through Georgianne Macropolis, and he died. And nobody acted like they gave a shit. So to go back and see that and be reminded that we did that, whatever it was, 16 years ago, 19, whatever, I don't remember the year. I think it was 2005 it might be. Someone check what year Hercules Hernandez died. It was 2005 or 2006. It's one of those 2 years. So, but yeah, I'm going to post a link on Twitter on Saturday because Saturday is the anniversary. But just blew me away, like, holy shit. They actually did keep 2004. Okay, even earlier, 2004. So 17 years ago, we did that for him and his family. So thank you, Austin. Like I said, Nate, I know it rubs some people the wrong way. Anything I do, I don't do it for accolades. I don't do it. There's so many people online that write stuff just for acknowledgement. If you despise something, if you don't like something, this and that, and some people, they get offended and they want to speak out. Totally get it. Totally understand. Then you got some people out there that they got to put their nose in every little thing just to be acknowledged. And, you know, I tell a lot of things over the years, and that's one thing I don't ever want to be accused of, and that's being a liar. So that's a complex that I have. Some people say it's a good thing. Some people say it's a bad thing. That I feel that I always got to prove every story that I tell, because there are people online that lie to your face and have been lying to your face for years. And I think some people out there just don't want to know the truth, that they just feel, I don't know, like tricked or humiliated that somebody's been lying to them for so many years. I've seen that, friends of mine, you know, I've seen that with people that I've never met. I've seen that with people that, you know, I worked with. You know, it's a disease. It is a disease, you know, and COVID, it didn't help. It didn't help because people solely relied just on social media, you know. So look, if I was a good liar, my God, could you imagine? Now, all these stories I tell, I got proof to back it up. Could you imagine if I was a good liar, how much more I could tell? My God, I wouldn't be coming up with small things and stories. I would be blowing it up. Yeah, Lee, I know you know the type of people, you know, and the thing that, and this is why also, I want people to understand. And there's this guy, Antonio, who I shadow banned. I want him to understand too. This is why these people have to understand that when you get older, like my age, you get a health scare, you know, you think you're going to die, and you have issues with your family and things going on, you know, obviously these are my escapes also. But what you got to understand also is when you see people that are lowest of the low, you know, like literally creating a persona about themselves and building that fake persona for years and years and years and years and years, and people buying into it, and you know it's all fraud and all fake. And you realize that a lot of people out there don't want to know the truth. And because there's a lot of people out there who are lonely, and I'm not saying this is a negative, I'm just making a point, that are lonely, that do feel that they may not have friends right now, especially they're forced to stay at home with COVID. And those are the reasons I understand without a doubt, but would rather, and this is the problem of today, there are too many people out there that would rather be friends with someone online that's a fake because they have a friend than to have no friends at all. And that's a big problem. It's a big problem. And I just don't want to be around people like that. So when I see a lot of negativity and stuff like that, I'm like, keep that away from me. Keep that away from me. You know, and then, you know, when people get angry that I delete them or whatever it is, then, you know, you see the true colors come out. You see people stabbing you in the back. You see this guy earlier, some of you saw what he wrote on the YouTube page, calling me a racist, calling me salty, calling me this. I'm like, you see, I had to shadow ban this guy to get him to open up and throw every name at the book for me because that's what he wants to attack me with. Those are the type of people I don't want to be around. So, yeah, you know, when we do these Thursday shows, I guess part of it should also be kind of advice too. You know, Papo Jr., yesterday he thought somebody hacked into his Google Wallet and sent me a $5 super chat about, oh yeah, Papo, that's my fault. I'm so sorry. Yesterday, for those who tuned in yesterday, there was a problem with my normal super chat template. It was not updating. And a few people had sent comments in and it wasn't updating. And all I saw is the last one was Papo Jr., Papo Jr., Papo Jr. And I said to myself, wait, I feel like I've answered this before. And then I realized it was old. But I kind of feel bad, Papo. You know, you didn't have to super chat me that I posted it, but that's what happened yesterday. I really sincerely apologize. But I fixed it. I fixed it. You know, sometimes I tweak stuff around and, you know, something stops working and I'm like, oh shit, so that's what happened. Shout out to Edwin G. Much love, my friend, much love. Thank you for the support. And if that's you in the photo, thank you for your service. Seriously, so much love. Dayok, can he listen to the Dixie Carter Church audio again? I don't have it in this computer. If enough people want to hear it, maybe I'll put it as a separate upload. Because I'm starting next week, I'm putting up 5 10-minute clips of various topics. A lot of people have been wanting that. La Nostra Familia, some of the members on YouTube are sending me some topics to use. So maybe I'll put that as a separate upload. For those that don't know what he's talking about, when Dixie Carter made the move to Monday nights to try to go head-to-head with WWE, that backfired tremendously. At the time, she tried to compare TNA Impact to WWE as David and Goliath. That WWE was Goliath and they were David. And if anybody has ever read the story or heard the story about David versus Goliath, that does not fit Impact Wrestling at the time, TNA Impact and WWE. Because Impact Wrestling, or TNA Impact, now I'm forced to have it, TNA Impact was not the innocent victim here. There was a lot of finger poking. So I came up with this zany idea that I was going to do a sermon, Father Tony, and we made audio and echoes, and we put organ music, little sound effects of people in the church. You hear people, babies crying, people coughing, and for about 15 minutes, I told the story of David versus Goliath, but I changed it to Impact versus WWE. And basically, at the end of the sermon, it proved that Dixie's claim that this was David versus Goliath was moronic. Because if anything, Goliath didn't want nothing to do with David. WWE didn't want to be bothered with TNA Impact. They weren't acknowledging TNA Impact. They weren't throwing darts on TV. Goliath was keeping it to himself. David was the one provoking this shit with the cookie gate and all this other stuff. So if you follow that mentality, Goliath should have squashed the fuck out of David. And that's what happened. So it's pretty wild. Pretty wild. So I'll probably put it as a separate upload. I probably will. And Nikko, yeah, next week I'll show you a couple of things Terry Funk gave me back in 1998, 99. You'll get a kick out of it, I promise you. Botch Club, am I JD from New York's father? No. I mean, one thing I could honestly say, I don't know how long JD's been doing the podcast stuff. He's doing a great job. He's got a huge following here on YouTube, and deservingly so. And he's put in crazy-ass years of work here. Me, I'm late to the game. It's not a competition thing. There is no competition. Even if this channel blows up 5-10 years from now, it's not about competition. But, I give anybody that works hard, and I've said this before, even people I don't like, and I'm not saying I don't like JD, I like JD, but anybody out there, you work hard and you put in the effort. That's something that changed with me over the years, because back in the day, I used to rip every podcast out there, make jokes about everyone. But, now I respect the people who put in that hard work and, as Chaos always says, puts in the hustle. And it's not just him. You got your Joe Cronins, you got your Lee Sanders, RCWR, you got the DFWS, I think it is. You got Soup, Jason Solomonster, just to name a few. Even Chris Van Vliet, even though, his style is obviously very, cake and ice cream, which is needed in today's day and age. Some people, want to just, have a feel-good, hear a feel-good interview or story. But I appreciate anybody out there who puts in hard work. But, as far, that's why I will say this. I'm not accusing a botch of doing this, but I get a kick out of when people say to me, oh, you're a ripoff of so-and-so. I've been doing this since 1997. My style has not changed. I mean, sure, in 1997, 1998, I was pretty horrendous doing hotlines, but I got hotline reports saved from 2000 and 2001. People have an idea. So, when people say to me, oh, you're just ripping off something, I'm like, what? I've been doing it since 97. If they've been doing it before 97, okay, then we could talk. But I don't know why you would say I'm his dad. I don't think we look alike. I don't think we look alike at all. So, Edwin G. Oh, yes, that's him in a photo. And, he got the first shot at the VA. My dad's doing better. My father, tomorrow will be 1 month since he had the heart surgery. And they told him no driving for the first 6 weeks. Don't lift anything heavy for the first 6 weeks. Last week, my father tried to drive. And what my father didn't understand was that even when you're driving, you look this way, you look that way, you're stretching muscles over here. Yes, you look this way and that way at home. But when you're driving, you got to keep looking, And if somebody creeps out and you have to get startled, and he came home and he was in tremendous pain. I said this, I think, yesterday. The worst thing that I feel bad for him for is when he sneezes, because he has this heart pillow and he's got to hold the pillow and clutch it when he sneezes. And Tuesday morning, I was by his house and he sneezed and he didn't have the pillow, and he just froze. And I've only seen my father cry 4 or 5 times in my life. And I thought that was close to number 6, the pain that he was in. And I keep begging him, please, relax. I know he's bored. I know he's going nuts. That he can't do anything, but, no setback. Just 2 more weeks. And then he could start doing a little more. So thank God. And Sam says he knows the feeling. And I'm sure a lot of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about. You get family members or loved ones, that have something happen to them, or maybe even you, something happens to you, and you just don't, you just want to get back. It's not like Cena or Triple H that they're supposed to be out a year and they come back in 3 months. With heart surgery and getting cut all the way down to your belly button, and, taking veins from your leg and putting it by your arteries, he doesn't understand. He doesn't go on YouTube. He doesn't read things online. He doesn't understand that all he's got to do is tear one of those little vessels because it didn't heal enough. He's dead on the spot. Dead on the spot. So, he's a tough son of a bitch. He really is. He's a tough son of a bitch. And, I hope he, relaxes. 2 more weeks is not the end of the world. So, yeah, my father, let me tell you something. The heart surgery scared him to death because I tried some combos. I picked him up from the hospital. You've seen that photo. And, he had both knees replaced already. He's had cancer, prostate cancer. He's had a few things, and he said to me that this heart surgery was a walk in the park compared to the knee replacement. He said, but the heart surgery, it rattles you up here because you go to sleep, you don't know if you're going to wake up. I mean, I understand how science has progressed dramatically in 20 years, but unless you're the one on the hospital bed that they're about to cut you completely open and then I start finding out only now that they actually had to take my mother's heart out to put the valve in. I mean, that sounds like Dr. Jekyll, Frankenstein shit. And these are your loved ones. And then I got to get bogged down from people on social media. Would you do that? Aladdin, a long time ago, had a heart murmur. Yeah, it's no joke, man. We think we're all invincible. and just because you don't feel anything going wrong inside, and look, you may put on a couple of pounds, you may smoke, you may, your cholesterol might be a little elevated, but overall, you feel pretty good. You don't feel anything, and then out of nowhere, murmur would scare the shit out of me. Ted Turner's brother, 54 years old, had heart surgery 2 years ago. You're hearing that more and more today about people younger and younger having severe health issues. And I think probably the one thing that shocks me more than anything is how many kids get diabetes. That's just insane. I mean, do I think the keto diet that I'm on is the healthiest diet out there? No. I have heavy cream. I have fatty steak. I have loads of olive oil, butter, cheese, ice cream, but I have no sugar. I have no starch, no breads, no carbohydrates at all. So that sugar aspect is out of me. But to see, let me tell you something. Sam, at 41 years old, had triple bypass. Seriously, my thoughts are with you because, what happened to my mom a couple of years ago, that was rough, man. Like I said, when I say that I've only seen my father cry 4 or 5 times in my life, I'm not exaggerating. I saw my father cry when my grandmother died, his mother. I saw him cry when my grandfather died, his father. I saw him cry when he had to put his dog to sleep, which was shortly before Superstorm Sandy. I was with him in the hospital when my mother was pronounced dead twice, 3.5 years ago. He cried once or twice there. And Tuesday came this close. It's rough, man. But if any of you out there, are interested in learning about like fat and sugar and carbohydrates, there is a movie on Amazon. I know the first one is free. The second one, I don't know if it's free, but there's a guy, Vinny Tortorich. He did a documentary a couple of years ago called Fat. That's all it's called, Fat. And then he came out with one that was released 2 months ago called Fat Too. Very creative. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is if anybody out there that's in their 40s or 50s, even if you're younger, trust me when I tell you, back in the 80s, when they came out with Snackwells, anybody ever have Snackwells? It's supposed to be like low fat, like cookies and like devil pastries and stuff like that. I grew up mostly in the 80s when all this low fat shit came out. Low fat this, low fat that, low fat that. And I ate boxes and boxes and boxes of that shit. Oh, Snackwells, it's low fat. I would add up the total fat in the box. I'm like, that's less than a sandwich. I'd eat the whole box. And then you would have low fat potato chips, the Ruffles, 60% less fat. I ate a whole bag. And low fat this and low fat that. Meanwhile, it was, what were they replacing the fat with? Corn syrup, sugar. So it was low fat, but you were loading up on sugar. Snackwells, oh my God, the Snackwells cookies, Lee, God. Everything was low fat this, low fat that, low fat this. I for 40 years, 80% of my food was starches, pasta, bread, pretzels, potato chips, popcorn, cookies. 80% of everything I ate was that. The only time I would ever really eat like meat would be if I went out with my friends, and I've brought this up before. I would be coming home from a club or going from my friend's house, and sometimes I would leave early. Not because I wanted to just get home a little early. I had to get up early the next day. No, I wanted to stop off at the diner and get a double cheeseburger deluxe with an order of onion rings and French fries with melted cheese or with bacon on it and stuff like that. And I would go home and 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd watch like Girls Gone Wild stuff or late night infomercials. Don West, Barry Bonds, look, Barry Bonds. He would sell all this shit, and I would just pig out. That's all I would do. Even a diet soda. I'll tell you something. I'm not trying to change anybody's. I will never, ever try to get any of you to change anything you do. I could give you some of my experiences, and maybe you'll learn from it. But diet soda, trust me when I tell you now, the one thing about this keto, and as soon as I finish this, we'll do the contest. So get ready. Get ready for the Who Am I? Then we'll do the wrestling. We'll show the wrestling. Then we'll pretty much call it. But thank you, Nikko. Nikko, I'll pull yours up in a second. What I was going to say as far as the diets go is this. Okay. One thing about this keto diet that it does help you with more than anything is pain, inflammation. I have horrible pain from my car accident. You see the wrestling thing in a moment, it actually gets brought up. I think you'll get a kick out of it, but I have horrible pain because of my car accident. I have injuries that'll be with me for the rest of my life. This is supposed to get worse as I get older. And this diet helps a lot with inflammation because I'm not having the processed stuff or sugar or anything like that. So anyway, I've been on this keto diet now for about 2 years. And about 4 months ago, I went to my mom's house and she had Diet Cokes in the fridge. Now, I only drink Zevia. I don't drink any diet sodas with NutraSweet in it or saccharin or whatever is sucralose or whatever. I have only Zevia, which is diet soda that's sweetened with stevia, which doesn't affect your blood sugar. It doesn't inflame or anything like that. So I've been wanting a regular soda forever. So she had regular Coke and she had Diet Coke. I said, you know what? I'm going to have a Diet Coke. I had one. Didn't hurt me at all. It's fine. That night I had another Diet Coke. The next day I went to the store and bought a 2-liter bottle of Diet Coke. And I swear on my family, I will never do another show again if I'm lying. That night, which was a Friday night, I remember laying in bed and it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with my legs? Like my legs were all cramped up and I'm like, what the hell's going on with my legs? Like they were just crampy. So I got up, I walked around my house and I just had this pain in my legs. Now I got Oxy. I got Oxycontin. They take a painkiller or two, pass out, no problem. So I took a painkiller. Did absolutely nothing. I was wired, but my legs were giving me these horrible, and I start looking it up, and I'm like, maybe something I ate with this diet. So I typed in my problem and I wrote keto. First thing that comes up is diet soda, saccharin, NutraSweet, sucralose, all this stuff. Diet soda. That artificial sweeteners cause tremendous inflammation. So when you have no inflammation whatsoever, and then you suddenly take in a half a dozen Diet Cokes, it screwed up me so much. And I tell people that I know personally, I'm like, look, you'd be surprised how much your inflammation will go away if you just get rid of the diet soda. Have club soda, get Zevia, get something else. Water is good too. That's why you see on the shows, that's all I drink. Sparkling water. That's all I drink. So, should we do the contest first? Or should we show a little old school Don Tony Indy Wrestling crap? Indy Wrestle crap. I think that's what I'm going to call it from now on. Don Tony Indy Wrestle crap. So I'll leave it up to all of you. We got contest. This shit is awesome, man. Seriously. If you're into sparkling water and you like minerals, oh my God. I drink a case of this a week. All right, contest. All right, so let's do the contest. All right, so now, like I said, I don't want to repeat, but, so everybody could get ready, be prepared to type. We're going to do a Who Am I contest. This one should be the easiest one that we've done so far. It's only one person this time. And I'm going to read you hints of this person. And you type your answers in the chat. I have the chat on the screen, so it's documented. I know sometimes people on the replay watch the chat on the replay, and they say, hey, this doesn't sync up. When you watch it on YouTube, you get two options, top chat replay or live chat replay. You got to select live chat replay because the top chat, for some reason, omits some. So I'm going to read some hints that I have put together, and whoever comes up with the person will win the prize. Very easy. Don't jump the gun because you're definitely going to be wrong. So now the prize, once again, whoever wins, first person that gets it, you have a choice. You could either spin the wheel. I'll spin the wheel, and those are dollars. So whatever this wheel lands on, you get that prize. Now, there is a possibility you could win nothing. Those two purple ones are goose eggs. I probably would spin the wheel again to be nice, but that whatever it lands on, that's what you win. If you don't want this, you have a second option now. We now have this. There are balls inside. They are labeled from 1 to 100. And if you choose that instead of the wheel, I will spin it, open the door live on camera, and whatever ball we take out, whatever that ball is, you win. And as I said yesterday, somebody said to me, why don't you have the balls go up to 150? The problem is, think about this for a minute. I'm sorry if anybody tuned in yesterday and knows this already. If I make it from 1 to 150, then that means there are 50 balls, 51 balls that are $100 or more. And if you have 150 balls total and 50 of them are 100 or more, that means you have a 1 in 3 shot of getting $100 or more. Those odds are kind of crazy. So this way, it's a little bit more even. What I may do is I may get another set of 1 to 100 and have 2 of everything in there. So, the odds are pretty much the same, but you have, second shot. Can't add the balls together. So anyway, now, like I said, whoever I'm describing, you have to say the person's full name. I'll give you an example. If it's Hulk Hogan, which it's not, you can't just write Hogan and you can't just write Hulk. I know it's a little semantics, but there's been more than one Hulk. There's been more than one Hogan. So you got to put the wrestler's full name. Full name. So get your typing hands ready. This is going to be a fast one. Trust me, I tell you, it's going to be a fast one. Here we go. I have wrestled for almost 20 years. I am a Grand Slam champion. Early in my career, I was told that WWE would have absolutely no interest in me. 15 years later, when WWE did express interest, they said that I would never make it to the main roster. I had a 19-month memorable winning streak. I won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Before Karrion Kross's injury, I had the shortest title reign in the history of NXT. We got a winner. We got a winner. Stop. Stefan Johnson. He got it. The winner is Samoa Joe. Let me read you all the hints that I had planned for tonight. I have wrestled for almost 20 years. I was a Grand Slam champion, And for those that want to know what, he was the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the X Division Champion, the World Tag Team Champion, and the TV Champion. Jim Ross and Bruce Pritchard told him back in 2000 that WWE would likely have no interest in him. 15 years later, when he was hired, Triple H told him that he would likely never be brought to the main roster. He had a 19-month winning streak, which happened in TNA. And here's some additional hints. Dave Meltzer has given me 3 5-star matches in my career. None of them have happened in the last 15 years. That is a fact. I made it to the top 5 of Pro Wrestling Illustrated's Wrestler of the Year, but never made it to number 1. I have the only match in TNA history that was rated 5 stars by Dave Meltzer. I am the only wrestler that was in both the front line and the main event Mafia. I've won the Turkey Bowl in my career. Samoa Joe. Okay. Yes, I do remember when WWE copied the streak with Umaga. I do remember that. Yeah, Samoa Joe's a Ring of Honor champ as well. He's had multiple titles for a lot of promotions out there. But Samoa Joe debuted in 99, and I think he had his first match 3 months into his career, and he was wrestling in California, and Cena came up with him. I'm sure you've seen that footage of that wrestling school, from California when Cena was up and coming too. But Bruce, remember that video when Bruce Pritchard visited the school? Remember that? And they were scouting Cena and everything. Bruce Pritchard told Jim Ross, and they both told Samoa Joe that WWE pretty likely would have no interest in him. And that UPW lit a fire under his ass, and he would end up Ring of Honor, TNA, tear it up. I think Meltzer ranked Samoa Joe Wrestler of the Year in 2005. It was either 05, 06. I think it was 05. And then 15 years after WWF turning him down, he got signed to NXT, and Triple H told him, he says, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Vince is interested in having somebody coming in from somewhere else in his upper 30s, being brought to the main roster. So he honestly didn't think Samoa Joe was going to make it to the main roster. So there you go. And Samoa Joe, as far as I believe, is the only member that was in the front line and the main event Mafia too. So, cool. So now, Stefan Johnson, your choice. We spin the wheel or we spin the balls. Whatever you want, my friend. It is your choice. So, we'll let him pick. And, as far as the price, you could have it in the form of PayPal. You could have it in the form of an Amazon e-gift card. Or I could send you a money order. Totally your choice. Yeah, Kevin Milwaukee, that is the match. AJ versus Joe versus Christopher Daniels. Incredible. Incredible. I tell you, Joe had an awesome career. And I hope he can have another run. So we're just waiting on Stefan Johnson. Stefan Johnson, okay, he wants to go with the bingo balls. Stefan has been a loyal supporter for a long time. So, let's spin the balls. So I have them here. Now, you see, I'm going to do it from over here. I think it's better if I do it over here. So we got the balls. I'm not going to look when I pull the ball out. My hands are clear, obviously. Whatever the ball is. All right. We'll spin it like 2-3 more times. That's it. So I'm going to open it. There we go. All right. Putting my hand in. And I'm done. Not bad. $64. $64. There you go. 64. Not bad. No, with the balls, you're guaranteed to win at least $1. So, Stefan, you let me know how you want it. Email me, dontony@dontony.com. Let me know PayPal, Amazon e-gift card, or money order. So, yeah, $64. Not bad. When I first looked at it, I thought it was $4, and I'm like, oh, that would suck. But no, we don't want to do double or nothing. So, anyway, I'll share some retro DT indie wrestling crap, indie wrestle crap. That's what we'll call it. And then we'll pretty much jet out of here. We're right before 2 hours. So we'll finish right around the 2 hour mark. And remember, I will be back here again tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we're going to do SmackDown recap, AEW Revolution predictions, and we're going to get into the quarter hour ratings for AEW and NXT. And, we'll talk about a few other things that come up as well. So now with the DT Indie Wrestle crap, okay. You saw last week what we were showing. Now, what you see here is only the third or fourth time that I ever have been on camera. Now, in USA Pro Wrestling, Frank Goodman's promotion, I was feuding with Lowlife Louis Ramos. Now, sorry if some people know this part of it already, but I want to set it up for those that don't know. I never did anything on camera, but I had a big following through the hotlines and online and doing the stuff for XPW. And Louis is the one that said to me, why don't you do something on camera? You got all these haters online, let them, do something, be a heel or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. I didn't want to, but I'll do it. So as this was going on, you had people that worked for USA Pro Wrestling that hated me, that tried to sabotage everything that I did, tried to sabotage everything. When I showed you the footage of what happened with the new Jack in the Box, it would have been such an awesome storyline that it was sabotaged. When you listen to this now, I want you to pay attention to the commentary and listen to all of the horrible stuff that is said about me. It's not even just joking stuff. You'll hear at one point where someone uses the word AIDS in the same sentence as me. All right, I'm cool with it. Doesn't piss me off or anything like that. Oh, Mish, what's going on, my brother? So anyway, what the storyline was, very quickly, is Lowlife Louis, he was getting married, his wife was pregnant, and he was a hardcore legend already. And he was going to tone down his work and just wrestle more conservatively. He's got a family to worry about, and he really was looking to move on. So we were going to do a storyline where we were going to force Louis to fight hardcore. That if Louis wanted money for his family, he had to fight hardcore. And people called me Money Mark. They would say all this horrible stuff and everything. So every time Louis wanted to have a regular match, I would put him in a situation where he had to go hardcore. And because of the Money Mark label that I was given, the story was that if I'm going to pay Louis to wrestle for USA Pro, I'm going to force him to do hardcore stuff. So you saw last week I got smashed over the head with a chair. So this is the next show that my head still hurts. And again, I never cut promos before. This was a year and a half before I went to wrestling school. So everything that I did was just me thinking to myself, I got to make it as realistic as possible. And it's not very good. Some people are telling me that they're loving it. I was told 1,000 times over that it was horrible. So now some of you out there have seen in the past with me, with the stapler gun, with Lowlife Louis Ramos and his ass. But what you have seen in the past was only 3 or 4 minutes of footage. Tonight, you're getting everything. And you will understand that the reason why I never posted the whole thing before is not, this was way before the cannolis also, but understand something. when you saw only the 4 or 5 minute version on YouTube for 13, 14 years, it's not that I had restrictions. There was no trademark issues. There was no copyright issues. I was very embarrassed at the commentary and all of the insults that were given my way. The stuff that was said about me, just not even using my wrestling name. I mean, I was doing the cannolis, but not that much. And they were calling me Tony Cannoli. But as you will hear, this commentator would still reference me by my real name, would show me no respect whatsoever. And look, I let it go now, and obviously things have changed since then. And if I do go back to managing in 2021 or 2022, it's going to be 10 times better than the shit I did before, both physically and emotionally. But this guy just despised me and would do everything he could to shoot me down. That is why the full video has never been online. So what you're going to see is what set up later in the night. This starts off in the bathroom. Now, you're going to see like a line on the screen going up. That's not a technical difficulty. For some reason, that's why they set that up the way they did. But I think you will get a kick out of it. I really do. Be prepared that there is some blood, there is some weapons, and there is some strong language. But we'll enjoy it together. So here you go. Oh my God, this is going to be priceless.
Shit. About to drop an album in this motherfucker. Am I got a newspaper? Oh, shit. Shit. Oh, God, dang. Feel like I'm running in the toilet today. Toilet.
Here I come.
Anthony, how you doing?
All right.
I was just washing my hands.
Okay.
He's going to the bathroom.
And he's taping you washing your hands?
Well, we got a fan here.
What's going on?
We thought that you were coming here. How are you doing?
Not bad. I'm fine.
Not bad. You're good.
Yeah, my head hurts a little. I'm fine.
So I just want to know what I guess the situation. Like I said, we kind of knew where you were headed. What's going to be the situation with Low Life Louie tonight?
What situation? There was no situation.
So you're not scared then about anything that he might do, or you know he's going to be in the building tonight.
I'm scared of what Louie's gonna do? Excuse me for a minute.
I know there's a bathroom.
Listen, I know this is rated PG. Look, scared of Louie? Shut up. Okay. Shut up. Scared of Louie? Scared of Louie? Let me show you something. See this over here? See that?
Oh Jesus!
You see this? That's a broken hip, broken pelvis, and dislocated hip 8 years ago, courtesy of a car accident in Forest Park. Okay? Scared of Low Life Louie? See this? This is another car accident. Shattered both sides of my ankle, got permanent damage on my leg. Not even supposed to walk right now. Okay? Even this. Fell off my bicycle 8 years old. Now I'm going to be afraid of Low Life Louie Ramos?
I fell off my bike.
Fucking joke. By the way, next time we do a promo in here, please spray something with air freshener that smells like something fucking died in there. Don't step on my glasses.
This is a bathroom. I guess he's not scared.
Low Life Louie? Wait, that's not Louie. That's an imposter.
Okay, what this was I brought out someone to mock Low Life Louie. So the person I was managing, he was called High Life Louie. So if you've never seen the full thing, but like I said, and you see the shopping bag, that was not the shopping bag with the X-Lax. And you see, this is the second annual Chris Candido Memorial Show. Absolutely love the fact that I was part of that. CM Punk was on this card. I think he was on this card. So, but this was a loaded show. But what I was doing was I was passing around DVDs, the best of Low Life Louis Ramos. I swear to God. I was passing around DVDs as a gift. And when they would open it up, there would be no disc inside. And the joke was that the best of Low Life Louis Ramos, there is none. So I gave them empty cases. I made cover art and everything. So, all right, and here is how it went down. And again, pay attention to the commentary.
Thanks, Low Life Louie. Oh my God! We just been hoodwinked.
We've been fooled.
We've been shocked and humiliated and made to be ass puppets. And look, that's a fake Low Life Louie. That's the real Low Life Louie. It doesn't sound good with the music, but he's got a barbed wire whore, and he's gonna roll that right in his fucking ass.
What about in his nutsack?
De Blasio, I hope he dies.
That's not a nice thing to say. Anthony de Blasio is a fine young gentleman.
I would say de Blasio's age, but he's too fat.
Not nice, Sean. Not nice.
Which means he hasn't been embedded by you, but anyway,
See, I have the cannoli tray in my hand.
3, I guess, as opposed to number 1. Low Life Louie. Who is this imposter, Dexter? You're the broadcast colleague here.
I don't know. I thought that he was saying something about his son. We understand, yeah. And Sean Hansen's, hopefully he has control. Hopefully he knows who the hell it is.
I look at Low Life Louie's head, Dana. It looks like Two-Face.
He's got half of his head colored bleach blonde and the other half, one of my favorite colors, black.
Black is a shade,
Yeah,
actually.
I thought you didn't like colored hair.
I like colors. Colors are...
You like nappy little curly hairs?
Sure, why not? And what
I've
if...
seen you at bedroom pillow, so I guess you do.
No, you haven't.
Billy Real told me.
Ring that bell, boy.
Ring that bell, boy.
And what is going on? It looks like Low Life Louis Ramos is about to go head to toe with his imposter.
So is this Low Life Louie versus High Life Louie? And what is Anthony?
I'm showing him the contract.
Dana?
No comment.
Let's try to assess the situation.
Let's assess indeed, Dexter. Assess for us.
Now, what the contract was that he could not lay his hands on me. And the next show, if he could beat my guy, then I think it was Crowbar, then he would get like 5 minutes with me. That's what the contract was. I signed the contract during this match.
Sean, on a scale from 1 to 10, how drunk are you right now?
About a 7.5, which is hopefully what I show you later on.
This guy's got jokes. Not good at all.
And why is the Blasio on his knees? He's not dead. Anyway, back to our broadcast calendar. I'm full of jokes tonight. Woo! Tell them all.
Very unprofessional of Sean McCaffrey to be drinking bud after bud after bud while trying to be a professional commissioner.
Dana, I was in the office before I made my deals. I've signed the matches, and we'll see them on later on. Look at Low Life Louie driving those vicious elbows right to the neck, not the neck fat, of the fake Low Life Louie we still don't have a name for.
And we have Anthony de Blasio ringside just watching this.
This is apparently someone from Low Life Louie's family. Someone from his family. That's the only word that we can get out right now.
Why would you do such a thing?
You're the commissioner.
And what's this? I didn't even know this was going to happen. I was still going to see Louie.
Nice crowd that
So
night.
this is unsanctioned right now?
This is unsanctioned. I guess the Blasio does have a little pull of Goodman over me, because I don't pick Goodman shit. But it looks like the Blasio just went over my head with this match, and there's nothing I really have to do about it, but just watch it and enjoy it and get drunk watching it.
Terrific. Good deal.
And I'll also look at Dana's cleavage while I'm broadcasting with him.
Good deal.
Good deal indeed. And Dana Davison, what do you think about Low Life Louie? What do you think about this hardcore wrestling, the blood flowing in the ring?
I think Low Life Louie is a fabulous, fabulous wrestler.
And Dexter Weiner, tell us the story between these two guys right here.
What is this mark? I mean, what is Anthony de Blasio doing?
I don't know what I was about to talk about the wrestling, you know, but then
Then you realize who's in the ring. You ain't gonna see no wrestling. You're gonna see some hardcore brawling.
right. But then I
Gave him a
saw,
frying pan,
I guess
cookie sheet.
Louis' family member's manager on the outside, and he hit something with whatever he's carrying around there as he makes his way around the ring.
So giving him the Iggy?
The Oogie. Where is Oogie tonight, Sean?
Right, stiffening checks. Oh, look at this! There it is! The barbed wire! Oh my God! Louis, that left arm with his right hand trying to hold it.
This is a bloodbath in the works.
I think you're right, Dana Dennison. You've been gone for a while, but you're still correct. And oh! Barbed wire to the back. And folks, that'll leave a mark. Not a stretch mark, not a fucking stink mark, not a...
Right to the stomach. That'll kill your child.
And Louis' family member here almost caught Sean Hansen.
And look at Andy
barbed wire oar.
that smug Mark son of a bitch. He's got a stapler around his neck. And we know what he wants to do with that.
Mark. Leave a mark.
We're hearing the Low Life Louis chants, Dexter Wiener. The crowd's behind Low Life Louis, the hardcore king of New York City. Woo! Indeed.
Does Low Life Louis' family member have a name?
I think it's Louis' cousin.
How about Louis Jr.?
Cousin?
How about we just call him Louis Jr.?
And I just hope they're not kissing cousins. That'd be kind of gay.
That's pretty strange.
Kind of unironic.
Only a drunken person like you would think of something like that.
I think of everything, Dan. I think of every possible.
Stapling his cousin's head. Terrible. Who does such a thing? It is a terrible, terrible thing to do. Why?
Why?
One question. You know what that question is?
Why?
That's exactly the question.
And look, Louis is showing us a scalpel.
And hopefully the answer to the question why will
I know
be
he's not a
answered.
doctor.
And look at Andy LaBlasi. What is that money mark doing? And you can even smell the rolls of neck fat from here in the booth. Big time right hand there, Dana.
Bret Hart's going to be appearing at Xavier in High School on June 23rd, 2006.
What do you...
Oh! He just broke that metal object over his head.
ABCProWrestling.net.
Get ready.
ABCHorse.com.
I know some of you have seen this part.
AKA Dan Davison.TK.
Dana Davison.TK is no longer working.
I think it got a nice pop. Watch. A lot of fans there. Watch the pop.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen Robert Paisley once.
And how do I have no cameraman here tonight?
We don't have stiff shots, leather pants in the building tonight. Where could he be?
Probably fucking jerking off to pictures of Janice St. Clair.
I think maybe he's in a hotel room with a couple indie divas taking some stiff shots.
Yeah, he's probably paying a lot of money for that fucking mark. How about something he for his daughter?
Is that what it is? He pays people to take pictures of him?
No, he just pays for the studios and the clothing.
Oh my God! Louis is getting his fucking ass stapled! There are staples in Low Life Louis' ass!
Anthony DeBlas.
And folks, I don't want anything near my ass, but Louis has got metal staples hanging from his asshole.
He threw it into the crowd.
Ass cheek. Right ass cheek.
You better look at it besides me, Danny. You can look. Oh my God! We see kids don't do crack.
It's definitely not something that children should be seeing.
Now Cat just getting wrestling, and oh, Bubba Bomb! Dexter Wiener, what the fuck is going on? Dexter is speechless and homosexual, and Louis' ass is hanging out of his pants. And there's stretch marks and AIDS on his ass. What is those marks? Oh!
Marks? What are you talking about? What marks?
There's marks on the apron, but there's marks on Louis' ass. That barbed wire is cutting right through those shirts. And Louis pull up his pants, thank you, Louis. And oh no.
Thank you very much, Louis.
Oh no. What the hell is going on, Dina? There's nothing but ass, Dexter.
Louis is getting naked. Oh, and the dildo is out.
Dildo! There's a dildo, Dina. You know all about that.
Absolutely not.
Oh my God! There's a dildo in his mouth. He's sitting off that Death Valley driver. He hits it. His ass is out. I see his chode.
You heard me at the end. I'm like, please stay down. So there you got it. Unedited, full version, even with the promo that happened early in the night. Yeah, there you go. Like I said, I would have had so much more fun, and this stuff would have been uploaded years and years and years ago if I didn't have people trying to sabotage it. And that wasn't even the worst of it. Like I said, the new Jack in the Box one was the one that really, really got to me, because there was a lot of work put into it. And to see it sabotaged like that, it just very frustrating. But you know what? Look, I guess at that time, I didn't go to school, wrestling school. I wasn't going up and down the road all the time, so I could understand why there was animosity there. I have no ill will towards Sean or anyone else at the time that was trying, because there was a lot of shit being written online as well. But, like I said, at that time, I could understand why some people were angry at it, but it still was a little frustrating. It was frustrating. It would have been so much more fun. But, you got to understand, too, at that time, I was a lot heavier, and I was in a lot of pain too. Couldn't move around anywhere near like I can move around now. So who knows? Who knows? Like I said, there's 3 promotions that are on the Northeast that have asked me if I want to do managing again. And, like I said, if I do it, then I'm going to go full force with it, not just do a show once in a blue moon. I want to earn my stripes. So we'll see. And I'll always be forever grateful for VPW for letting me go to their school. I went to their school for 9 months, and I worked hard to try to be better. Didn't get much better, but I had a great time still nonetheless. I had fun no matter what. But yeah, there you go. There you go. SoFly, did I say anything to the commentators? No, because quite honestly, Sean Mick was not a bad guy. I mean, very well liked, and was not a bad guy at all. It was just he did not like the fact of somebody who didn't work, to get to that spot, not only getting there, but, this is big events. If I read you the card on some of these events, I think Jake the Snake Roberts and King Kong Bundy followed me and Louie and High Life Louie just now. I mean, it was a pretty loaded card. So if it was just students on the show or local people, I probably would have been handled a lot differently. But, I can understand. Like I said, it was a learning experience. And I know this is going to sound weird by a lot of people, by a lot of you out there. But believe me when I tell you, I've said this before, mostly about Frank. But I appreciate Frank and Sean the Mick and others acting the way they did towards me at that time, because it helped me grow a load of thick skin. I mean, my God, you see on Twitter, somebody makes one remark about a person. One person makes a remark about someone who claims they're tough as nails and this and that. You make one remark and they just can't get your mouth. They can't get your name out of their mouth. Just talking over and over. Can you imagine going through that? It was not fun. It was not fun to have your real name brought out there and saying, I hope he dies from AIDS and stuff like that. But, it was a different time. It was a different era. And things are different now. Things are different. So it's all good. It's all good. But I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. Somebody asked me before if I've ever been to Israel. No, I've only been to Italy. As far as going out of the country, going to Italy when I was in high school. That's it. So, but there you go. There you go. Nikko, as far as Minority Report, and I want to thank you for the 2 comments. Big prayers to my mom and my dad. Nikko lost his dad in 2017, still has his mother. And he just wanted to tell me how much it meant to him over the years. I thank you for that, seriously. And believe me when I tell you, I'm not trying to blow smoke up at anybody's asses, but for real, you know, hanging out with you guys, this is awesome. You know, it's reciprocal. It is totally reciprocal. Like, you know, somebody, right before we went live, somebody sent me a DM and said, hey, you know, check this out. It was just a few people on Discord saying, oh, I'm going to burn out and I have too much on my plate and this and that. And I'm saying to myself, you know, that's like kind of the nice version of somebody DMing me, you know, DMing someone behind my back saying I'm digging a hole. You know, I'm having fun here and I'm having a blast hanging out with everybody on YouTube. I'm having a blast hanging out on Patreon with our Patreon family. And when you're having fun and you put in a lot of hard work, it doesn't feel like work. I know that sounds cliche, and I know a lot of you have heard that line before, but it's not a joke. You know, you do this every day or almost every day, it becomes part of your schedule. It becomes part of your routine. And it does get easier to a certain extent, but when you're having fun and I see you all interacting and everybody enjoying this, you know, that keeps you going. That keeps you going. The one thing I said that I would never do to you is lie. Another thing that I would never ever do to you is give you an excuse, because doing this stuff is not a one-way street. You know, there's a lot of people out there that will tweet and make all these claims and promises, you know, that this is going to happen, this could happen, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to hang out, I'm going to, you know, whatever it is. And, you know, sometimes schedule, COVID, other things, put a monkey wrench in that. I wanted to go to WrestleMania this year and hang out with a lot of you out there, from Miss Destiny who reached out and a few others. I wanted to go to NXT, I wanted to go to AEW, but I'm not going to do it alone. And unfortunately, right now, I think it's a little too soon for a lot of people out there to be going through the routine. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen. That is legitimate. But I'm not going to be one of those that's just going to keep throwing empty promises just to get, oh, can't wait, love you, appreciate it, oh, looking forward to it, and then it doesn't happen. I'm not going to, it's reciprocal. The one thing you'll never get from me is an excuse. So I thank you very much for that. I don't have any more Minority Report in the system here, but I promise you next week we'll play some more retro stuff. Maybe it'll be Captain Lenny. Maybe it'll be Minority Report. I'll pull something out of the hard drives for sure. So we will definitely do that next week. Like I said, I want to mix it up. I don't want it every week to be this, you know, DT, indie, wrestle crap stuff. I don't want it every week to be Lenny stuff for Minority. We'll rotate. We'll do it from time. And there's going to be some Thursday episodes where we don't put any of it. I just don't want to run out of this stuff. And I don't want anybody to get bored of it either. But, yeah, no, look. I trust me, I know this is going to sound hilarious to some of you out there, but I really do want to trim down these shows as much as possible, because I don't expect anyone out there to tune into 2 hours on Monday. If you tune into Patreon, 2 hours on Tuesday, 2 hours on Wednesday, 2.5 hours on Thursday, 2 hours on Friday, that's almost 13 hours already. And we don't even count weekends when there's stuff going on as well. So I really want to start focusing on trimming back. Mondays was starting to get there a little bit. We've been averaging around 90 minutes 3 of the last 4 weeks. And I don't want anybody to feel that they're being shortchanged if a show lasts only an hour or an hour and a half. But I know there's a lot of other podcasters out there you want to tune into as well. So I don't want people to have to pick and choose and then they don't start watching content simply because there's just too much of it. But the one thing, like I said, I didn't see the email yet about August Lee. I will look at it later on. And by the way, also, Robbie Alessandro, I wanted to give you a shout out. You were showing me your stuff from LTW. I want to know, are you the one in the ring, like announcing some of the matches, or are you the one that looks like MJF? So I saw your promotion. Where you're doing your shows is 100 miles away from me. So if I were to come down and hang out for a little bit, I would probably have to make like an overnight out of it, and probably maybe even go to Atlantic City with my significant other. We'll see. But I will tell you, his promotion is LTW. It's like Backyard. That's what it is. It's based out of Jersey. You could see it on YouTube. The only thing I would suggest is try to get someone to do some play-by-play. Even if they dub it in later on, mix it in. I think that would make it so much more fun to do a little bit of play-by-play, but be a little more professional than what you just heard and the stuff that I was involved in. So I tell you, at the time, thank you, Sam, for the kind words. I appreciate that. But at the time, I was annoyed that my real name was being used over and over and over again, because, that's when I first started bringing the cannolis out, and we were using the Tony Cannoli name, and, would just call my real name, and some of that stuff, like I said, years later, it's not a big deal. At the time, I didn't realize how bad that came across, but it is what it is. And like I said, nobody should be angered by that. We're just looking back with fond memories, and, things are a lot different today than yesterday. And shout out to Devin M. Loves the shows, loves the chat. That's another thing that's awesome, too. I absolutely love interacting with all of you during the shows. It gets a little complicated sometimes with conversation and, focusing on the chat too. But Thursdays, we seem to get a nice grasp on it. But thank you, Devin M, for that. Shout out to you. And shout out to everybody who tuned in today. So again, tomorrow night, we'll do the SmackDown recap. I'll give you my predictions for AEW Revolution. I'm sure you heard about Tony Khan's statement. Yesterday, I joked that Paul White's announcement Sunday, as far as who AEW signed, is going to be himself, Paul White. Tony Khan, I think, doubled down tonight on this. Tony Khan said that the surprise is not in the ladder match. And Tony Khan pretty much made it pretty that whoever it is going to sign a contract there. So now the names are running rampant. And the two names that keep being brought up, well, three names, is Ryback, Brock Lesnar, and CM Punk. And like I said, for Tony Khan to go on a podcast to hype up Revolution and say that someone is going to sign a multi-year deal on Sunday, if it ends up being Paul White, even though that's what we said it was going to be yesterday, if it ends up being Paul White, Tony Khan has done a Jacksonville Dixie again. So you go read the transcript of what he said on the podcast or listen to it. And how it came across, I'll tell you why I don't think it's Ryback. And I am a fan of Ryback. I subscribe to his channel. I like him. I have nothing against Ryback at all. But Paul White said that this person is Hall of Fame worthy. And I'm not saying anything negative about Ryback. I don't think Ryback has been involved in wrestling long enough to be Hall of Fame worthy. So when he said worthy, That means it's someone who is not in a Hall of Fame yet. That's why I thought, okay, maybe it is Paul White talking about himself. But now, since Tony Khan upped the ante and said that somebody's coming in and he's going to sign a multi-year contract, it sounded like on Sunday. Now I'm starting to think it's somebody else. And Hall of Fame worthy, like, you know, Tony Khan knows he's under a microscope. Tony Khan knows about all those Dixie Carter comparisons that people are trying to throw on him. If it ends up being someone that is not Hall of Fame worthy, or if it ends up being Paul White talking about himself, no matter how good Revolution will be Sunday, a big part of that focus will be Tony Khan with another Jacksonville Dixie moment. I am not even going to sit here and think that it's going to be a letdown or it's going to be something amazing. I'm going to just sit back, relax, watch it Sunday, and I will be here right after the pay-per-view for a recap, and that'll probably be the first thing that I talk about. I've seen exploding death matches before, so it's not that I've never seen one and, you know, I'm reacting for the first time. Obviously, I'm seeing one, you know, with different participants, but it's going to be really interesting to see who it ends up being. I don't think it's Tessa Blanchard either. Is Tessa Blanchard Hall of Fame worthy? Look, Hall of Fame worthy is what I focus on more than anything else. For Paul White to say that, it's got to be someone who's been in the game for a long time. It's got to be someone who is not in a Hall of Fame. And for me, Tessa Blanchard doesn't fit that. Ryback hasn't had enough years to fit that. Some people are saying Christian. Some people are saying Mark Henry. Some people are saying Batista. Some people are saying, let's just see what happens Sunday. See what happens Sunday. Look, they could sign Zelina Vega, but is she Hall of Fame worthy? Not enough years. So this is not a knock on any of the names we just talked about. It's just when you use the words Hall of Fame worthy, you're now setting the bar of whoever this is on a high level. And if Tony Khan would have never made that remark on that podcast, then I would still stick with, I think maybe Paul White will be trolling everyone and he's just talking about himself. Let's see what happens on Sunday. So we'll see. But before I go, I want to thank you all again for tuning in tonight. And thank you, Edwin G, for the kind words. Wow, tuning in 19 years. Awesome, man. I tell you, that's something. No BS, no bullshit. That's something that still blows me away to this day. I love it when I still get now, hey, man, just heard about your show, never knew anything about it, and I'm loving it, and that's awesome. When you get like that, you know, tuning in for that many years, I mean, you think about that. I mean, that's like right around like 9/11 time. Well, this year's the 20-year anniversary of that tragedy. And to think that, you know, doing hotlines at that time. Yeah, man. Devin, yeah, we're at 18,000. You know, I'm not focused. If you notice, even when I do this, if you notice the last couple of shows, if you're enjoying the show, smash the thumbs up before you get out of here. You have not heard me say the last 2 or 3 shows, subscribe. You know, because look, as long as you tune in, whether you subscribe or you don't subscribe, you're here. That's what matters. So as long as you keep passing by and hanging out for a little bit, and if you're enjoying the show, you know, smash a like button here and there. You know, the more you do that, the more that tells YouTube you like the show, you recommend it, and they start sending it to others. And then, you know, maybe one day soon we'll get that chain reaction. So, but I'm here for you guys. Whether it's 18,000 or 1,800, I'm here for you. So I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. We've run 2.5 hours. Not bad, not bad. I think that's pretty much what we did last week. And if you're around Friday night, stop by. 10:05 p.m. Eastern. We'll, once again, SmackDown, AEW Revolution predictions, quarter-hour ratings for Dynamite and NXT. And any other little things that we want to talk about, we'll bring up as well. So everybody's been real. Much love. And I will catch you all again Friday night. So post your comments. When we were talking earlier about who would fit in nicely with the Hurt Business, I'm curious to see who your selection would be. You know, sure, we could choose someone from a different company, but I would try to choose someone that could possibly come into WWE if they're not in there already. So, yeah, post your feedback. Always read, always appreciated. And I'll see you all Friday night after SmackDown. So, take care, everybody. Much love. Wow, that's me going like much love. I for a minute, I just, you know what I'm thinking, right? Yeah, no. Much love. So, good night, everybody. Be well. Stay safe. I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.